Hello, my name is Dana J. Smithers, and I'm a certified emotion code practitioner. I'm certified by Dr. Bradley Nelson. You can get his book, The Emotion Code. There's lots of case studies in it, and he also actually goes through how to conduct an emotion code session, which I'm going to do today with Janice. So Janice, thank you so much for volunteering and stepping up, and you're very new to the emotion code, so this is great. I get to show you what it's all about, and also people that are viewing it for the first time as well. So with the emotion code, there are what we call 7 keys that we go through. So the first thing that I needed to do with Janice, and I would with anyone, and even I'm really looking forward to working with Janice's dog as well, but we'll do that on a separate video. But I have to ask permission. So I either ask permission directly. So Janice, do I have your permission to work
You do.
on you? Okay. And when I'm working on the dog or a child, the adult can become the surrogate. But
And you have my permission for that too, but when we get to
right,
it.
right. And because I'm doing this, in this case, we're just doing it over the computer. I've asked Janice's permission to be her proxy. So she's agreed that I can become the person that I'm going to work with her subconscious through me, and I'm going to show you how I do that. I will ask to become her proxy, but again, she's given me her permission. And another thing that I don't have an answer to this one, Janice, is we always ask the question, what is the severity? So you've indicated that you'd like to lose, ideally, you're saying 50 pounds, right?
It's
So,
pretty strong, Dana. It feels like about a 10. If I were tapping on it, it would
okay,
be a
all right.
10.
So I'm going to put a 10 on my sheet there. And that's Janice's conscious mind is telling me she thinks it's a 10. When I connect as the proxy, then I will do my own checking to see what the subconscious is telling, because that is where the truth lies when we're doing this type of work. So what I'm going to be doing is called muscle testing. Now, if Janice was here, I could find out if she was what we call muscle testable. And what that means is, does her body respond to yes or no answers? So if Janice was here, I'd have her hold her arm out like that, and I would ask her, I would press lightly down right there, and I would just ask her, Janice would say, my name is Dana, and her arm would go down because the subconscious knows that's not true. If her arm was up and I said, you said, my name is Janice, then your arm would stay strong. So that's really how you can do that to see if you are muscle testable. So I'm going to assume that you are, and I will find out once I start muscle testing. So how I do the muscle testing, because she's not here, and you can look this up in Dr. Brad's books as well, is I put my index and middle finger together, and then I take my middle finger and index finger here, and I just ask the question. I could ask the question right now. I'll say, because I want to connect, I want to become the proxy of Janice, so I'm going to say, am I Dana? Am I Dana? So I'm still connected to Dana, so I have to keep asking that question. Am I Dana? Am I Dana? All right, am I Janice? No, I'm not Janice yet. So am I Janice? Am I Janice? And I've said a prayer before I start. I've done some Reiki, self-Reiki this morning as well. So I just get connected to source, sort of put everything else out of my mind. I'm very focused. I'm very present. So I just want to see, am I Dana? Am I Dana? No, am I Janice? Okay, so that right there is me. I have a nice yes. Do not need to put any pressure on that. It's just a nice, easy yes. Am I Janice? So now on my sheet, which I have here, I have all of this information, what I'm going to do, questions I'm going to ask, and I'm going to put my information here. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going through what's called the emotion code chart. So Dr. Bradley started with a couple hundred, probably thousands of emotions down to a couple hundred. These are 60. So when I'm going to ask the question, a muscle test, is the trapped emotion in column A or is it in column B? And then I'm going to ask, is it an even row or is it an odd row? And then what I'll get is I'll get 5 emotions, and I'll just go through them very quickly, and I'll go through them just, is it this, is it this, is it this? And then when I get a yes, it'll stop on that emotion. And then I like to write it down. I like to keep my client sheets just to track their progress as well. And then I like to be able to go back to it. So I'll be using that. And how I'm going to be releasing that trapped emotion is by using magnets. So your hand is actually magnetic as well. You could use that, but these are hematite magnets. And what I'm going to do is, this is working with Chinese medicine with the governing meridian. So I'm going to demagnetize whatever emotion comes up by doing this. So I start at the top of my lip. If Janice was here, I would run this all the way down her back to the bottom of her spine. Because she's not here and I'm doing it like this, if it's her emotion that I want to release, I'm going to do 3 swipes like that. I go to the back of my neck fairly quickly. If it isn't, we find it's an inherited emotion, then I do 10 swipes. And this demagnetizes that emotion for us. So that's what we're doing there. And the other key that's very important, again, with muscle testing to make sure that that's true, is drinking lots of water. So I will take a sip right now. I have very little, when I'm doing emotion code or Reiki, I don't have much coffee, but I do enjoy coffee. So I'll have a coffee later. But in the meantime, it's water. Okay, Janice, so let's go ahead. So now I'm going to ask you your age. I could have asked before if this is okay for this to be revealed at this time. Is it okay, or?
It's fine.
It's fine. Okay.
I actually don't actually pay attention to it, so I actually have to think about it. I think I'm 54. I think
54.
I am.
Okay, good.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, as I just say, age is just a number.
It is.
It is. I'm 70.
Awesome, because you look amazing.
I am amazing, right?
I know. Well, so am I. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just a number, and it's, again, because we're going to be talking about weight loss. I've gone through the years of, I'm 5'2". When I was younger, 100 pounds, wore size 4 clothes, and then as years go on, it's 6, and then you go through that menopause thing, and and again, I mean, I'm a law of attraction trainer as well, so it is what you believe, but there are just some times where you do know that emotionally you are going through some things, right? So just acknowledge it. And I'm just always saying, I'm in the process of releasing some weight, or I'm in the process of getting my body to where it feels really healthy and I feel really alive, right? So it's not, I don't use affirmations per se, especially when it comes to weight release or weight loss. It's just really, how do you feel? If you're starting to eat better, you're going to feel better, right? So we'll talk about cravings and food and diet and that sort of thing. Right, so I've connected with you. I've got your permission. We've got this at a 10. So tell me a little bit about the weight for you. Why do you want to lose it? Do you exercise? What's your...
I walk. I have a puppy anyway, so of course I have to walk, but I walk usually quite a long distance per day. So I'm a very active, there's nothing I can't do physically, really. I do yoga, I do all kinds of stuff. So it's not really about that. It's really about appearance for me, and that kind of thing. I just would like more freedom with what I want to wear.
Okay.
And I just like to look better. So it's really about that. I can't say that I have any ill health as a regard of it. So I'm very fortunate about that.
And do you eat fairly nutritionally?
Yes, I do. I actually have almost an allergic reaction to any preservatives. So any like canned soups or junk food will upset my stomach. I do have certain things I crave, and so far white sugar and I are still, I have to kind of wean myself from that.
So it's white sugar.
Yeah, I like that. And bread I have lots of cravings for bread. I think for me it feels like it's very soothing and comforting. And I know that about myself.
Yeah, of course.
It's not new information in that sense, that I know that's an emotional aspect of feeling safe, of feeling comfortable.
Right.
But I really try to restrict it and try to get a lot of protein, because I know the bread, that doesn't.
Well, the bread, the carbs just translate into sugar anyway, and then the
They
sugar,
do.
fat, and all of that. Okay, excellent. All right. Yeah, so as far as image goes, for several years, I actually was coaching an image strategist. I helped her create a program, and one of the things that we learned is that people will say, well, I'll change my image, or I'll do my hair different, or get different glasses, or wear something different when I lose weight, and it often doesn't happen. But what happens is the reverse. Once they sort of look at their face and maybe start, a little bit different makeup or whatever, little glasses, looking at the body shape, the body type, that all of a sudden the weight is not really the issue anymore. It's just, feeling good. And, you're in that 50s age of, I don't know, are you through menopause?
As far as I know, I had a difficult time with it, so
Yeah.
it's
So, that can make us not feel very good either, very feminine, very sexy, any of that sort of feeling, right? So let's just see what's trapped in here then. So,
yes, I'm eager to find
all
out.
right, good. All right. So I'm just going to get set up here. I'm just going to take another little drink of water. All right. Okay. All right. So I have permission to be your proxy. So the first question that I'm going to ask, we're going to start with some beliefs here. So I'm not going to show this up here. I just do it down here. But I'll just show it to start. So the question I'm going to ask is, as I'm Janice, I'm asking myself, would it be okay if I release some weight? Oh, your subconscious said no.
Wow.
Okay, all right. So that's where we start. All right. All
Wow.
right. So I just make notes as I do this. So it's not okay. Okay, well let's find out. Are there trapped emotions that are preventing me from feeling that it's okay? So now I get a yes. So now what I do is I just go down my chart. So and sometimes just close my eyes. It's just easier for me to connect. So there are trapped emotions that are preventing me from saying it's okay to release some weight. Are they in column A? Yes. Even. Okay. Are they in 2, 4, 6? They're in 6. So what I'm doing, and I'll just show you, is they're in column 6 and it's A. So I'm going to go just ask these right here. So it's humiliation, jealousy, longing, lust, and overwhelm. So let's just see. And when I'm doing a session, I don't show you these and discuss it with you. I just go ahead and do it. So, all right. So is it trapped emotion? Is it humiliation? Longing. Oh, okay. So the first one that comes up is longing. Now, when an emotion comes up, sometimes it does make sense, and sometimes it doesn't. I just take whatever it is. I also ask the person if you want to, first of all, I'll ask the question, does this belong to me, Janice? So yes, it belongs to you, so it's not inherited, it's yours, all right. Do I need to know more? So my subconscious, which I'm connected to, is saying, no, I don't need to know any more, but I always do ask, do you want to know any more about that longing?
I think I know what that's about. It feels to me as if longing for the life that I want.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
a long-term thing.
okay, all right,
Yeah, it feels like, yeah, I
okay,
know what that's about.
okay, yeah. And most people will get a sense. I find people that get the greatest understanding or can go back in time are people that are somewhat intuitive, or they have their intuitive. You don't have to be an intuitive. I don't mean that. I mean just that you use your intuition and you can kind of do kind of a, a, a solar plexus sacral check their gut feeling, like yeah, that kind of thing. Okay, so now I'm just going to ask, may I release it? Yes. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and release it. Just demagnetize it. We'll release that. The same emotion can come up in the same session because this is trapped from conception until now.
Okay.
Trapped emotion of longing. So, you can get triggered about longing throughout your whole life, right? And there it is, and there it is, and there it is. But we're starting to get rid of these things. So we've done that. So I'm just going to move on a little bit faster here now that you know what I'm doing. So I'm going to say, are there other trapped emotions that would make it okay that I release some way? Yes. Are they in A? No, they're in B this time. Are they even? there 1, there 3, there 5. And I'll just show you that one. So what I'm looking at here is, then I just go to this cell. So it says, so I'm just going to ask, so is it conflict, creative insecurity, terror? So I'm stopping on terror, unsupported, wishy-washy, terror, and unsupported. So when there are two together, so somewhere in your life experience, you experience terror and also feeling unsupported in a situation. So when two of them are together, we call it a psychic trauma. It just means that they just happened at the same time. Okay, so I'm just going to ask, does terror and support, does this belong to me, Janice? Yes. Can I release it now? Yes. Do I need to know more? Oh, okay. So it's saying I need to know more. When it says I need to know more, then I start with the person's age. So, and I usually go in cycles of 10. So did this terror and support happen between 44 and 54? No, 34 and 44, 24, 20. So between 24 and 34. So now I'm just going to check between 24 and 34, 24 to 30. No. So around 31, 32.
Interesting.
So, yeah, so I'm getting a little bit warm here. So I'm getting a sense about something happened, right? So when we get an age, Dr. Brad says it can be a year before or a year after. So it could be anywhere from 30 to 33 in that time period. Again, I always offer with the client, if they want to say something, they can. If they don't, I'll just get rid of it.
Okay. The only thing I can think of is that we moved across the country at that time, and when we got there, the job that my husband had been promised, they just reneged on it. Oh, it was horrible. We were over there. We had no money. We were in debt, and we had to suddenly, I went to work, and it didn't last too long. Because we're the kind of people that it all smoothed out. But
Yes.
I'd have to say, and away from family and friends for the first time in my life.
So it fits. And like I say, sometimes it doesn't, but that would definitely fit. So I'm just
See,
going to say,
I didn't even realize that was still in me.
Oh, that's a big one, Janice,
Yeah.
right?
I lost my bird too around that time as well. Yeah, he was killed by a vet. So it was, yeah, oh boy, lots of pain coming up with that one. I've done a lot of forgiveness work with that. That's how years later my budgie flew into my garden right after I'd done a big forgiveness meditation. I mean, you know how it works, right?
Yeah.
So no surprise
Yeah.
that my bird actually came to find me because I wouldn't go find him. But yeah,
Okay.
that was
All
pretty
right.
traumatic.
Okay. All right. So can we release this terror unsupported? Yeah. So we'll just go ahead and release that for you. Releasing the trapped emotion of terror unsupported. All right. Did we release it? Yes. All right. Are there more that I need to release that will allow me to feel okay? That's okay to lose some weight. So no. Okay. So what's that saying is I can move on. So we've got a green light now. So I'm just going to ask the question, do I, Janice, feel that it's safe to release some weight? Yep. So we've got a yes on that. So we're good.
Good.
Now the next question is, do I feel that I am worthy? Well, I'm not even getting finished. That I'm worthy of releasing weight. So we're getting some self-worth issues there. That's very common with weight. Very, very common. And again, that's around the sacral chakra. So, sorry, the solar plexus and the sacral together, right? So, am I worthy? Not feeling worthy. All right, what are the trapped emotions that I need to release so that I will feel that I'm worthy to release this weight? Are they in, and again, are they in A? Yes, even, okay, 2, 4, 6, okay, 6. So, I'm going back to humiliation, jealousy. Must overwhelm. So humiliation has come up. And what I'm doing is as I say, I like to keep the emotion, so I'm just writing it down so that I can check back in, or we see if we get a repeat of something. This humiliation. Does this trapped emotion of humiliation belong to me? It doesn't, so this is inherited. So now I'm going to ask, this trapped emotion. So this would happen during conception, and we'll find out, did this trapped emotional humiliation come from my mother's side or my father's? Nope, definitely your mother's side. From my mother's mother? No, mother's grandmother? No, so directly from your mother. Trapped emotion of humiliation. Does any of that?
Oh, yes. Well, she
Yeah.
struggled with weight all her life
Okay.
and was very, very unhealthy.
Okay, and so she transferred that onto you
Yes.
during
Yes.
conception. So say, can we release it? All right, we can. So now I'm going to do 10 swipes to release that because it's a little bit deeper, a little bit longer. And is your mother still alive, Janice?
No, she passed.
And how long ago?
2016. I've had a
Okay,
lot of loss recently.
yeah. So not too long ago. Well, she's just passed over, right?
Yes. She's with me.
Yeah.
She's with me.
Okay, releasing that. And when we release a trapped emotion that's inherited, the intention is that we release it from your mother, from you, and if you were at that childbearing age, then we would also release it from any children that you were going to bear.
Wow.
Yeah, so, okay, and I just check in, did we release it? Yes, all right. Are there others that are blocking me from releasing weight that have to do with worthiness? Yes, are they an A? No, they're D. Even though they're odd, they're 1, they're 3, they're 5, they're 3. 3, so defensiveness. Defensiveness, feeling that you have to defend yourself. All right, defensiveness belong to me, Janice. Yes, can I release it? Yep, I don't need to know anymore. I can just release it. Just releasing trapped emotion of defensiveness. All right, okay. Are there other trapped emotions that I can release that have to do with me not feeling worthy enough to release the weight? Yes. Are they an A? Nope, they're in B. They're even this time? Nope, they're odd. They're 3, they're 5, they're 1. Trapped emotion of vulnerability. So feeling vulnerable, does this belong to me? So this doesn't belong to you either. So we'll just see, did I inherit this from my mother? My father? No, your mother again. Remember what I said earlier about relationship?
Yeah.
More often than not, it's,
Wow. This is
yeah,
like a big Celtic knot or something. There's all this.
yeah, a lot of weight has to do with mother-daughter relationships.
And we are very close.
Yeah,
We always were.
yeah,
I mean, she would always say, if anything happened to you, I would die. And when she passed, if I hadn't have been able to feel her still, I don't know how well I would have done, to be honest. Very close.
yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So vulnerability, she got very vulnerable at time of conception. Can I release that? Yeah, can go ahead and release it. 10 swipes. Yep, so wherever she is, this is being released from her as well.
How beautiful.
I always lose track of how many I've done.
I'm surprised you don't get dizzy doing that.
Yeah. Okay, are there any more that I can release at this time that have to do with my worthiness? No, so we'll just move on to the next question. So the next question is, do I, Janice, believe that I can lose this 50 pounds over the next year? Yes, okay, so your belief system is a yes.
Oh, good.
So that's good. You believe you can do it. And as I said, and as I always say when I'm working with someone with weight, have a goal, make it realistic. You said 50 pounds, and we talked about that being over a year, not, if you're losing that much weight in 1 or 2 months, it's just totally not healthy. It's harmful to your body. So if you looked at that over a year, that's, a little more, say it's 5 pounds a month. Well, if you get on a program, and I don't mean, I'm not saying like a Jenny Craig or weight loss. I mean, I guess those work. I don't know. I don't know people that have gone on, but if you're just smart about what you are eating, like you said, you don't eat a lot of processed foods, so that's good. Portions have a lot to do with it. But now we're going to come to the big one for you, which is sugar and bread.
And cravings.
Those are the cravings. So
Yes.
what other cravings do you have?
Well, one would come up for me would be waffles. I like to go to Wendell's here in Langley and have
So
waffles
we
once a week.
got the sugar and we got the
Yes.
carbs. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can have both. And I like sweet things. I know this goes, well, I'm saying I feel it goes back to my mom because if whenever I wouldn't be feeling good, she would give me a chocolate
Oh,
bar.
yeah,
Or
it's a
you get
comfort
it.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's what we do in our culture. You know,
we
we
do.
we
We
get
do.
that. Okay, so let's say, okay, so are there any trapped emotions that will allow me to get rid of some of these cravings, like white sugar bread? Well, the waffles kind of fit into that. Let's just do the white sugar and the white flour. So all of that is in there, right? All right. So there are, okay, then A, no, there B, even though there are one, three, five, one. Okay, so this is kind of a funny one. It's a trapped emotion of overjoy. And what that can mean sometimes with weight is like feeling really good, uh, excited that, okay, great, you're on this plan, you know you're not going to have these waffles and feels really good. So, yeah, you know, I've done it. I went into the Waffle House, I had some eggs or something, right? So it feels just great. And then you're leaving, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, but you know what? Wouldn't that one little waffle with just a little bit of whipped cream or a little bit of sugar feel good? So all of a sudden, that overjoy emotion is like, oh, deflated because you want that. So overjoy can be excited about something, but then again having to make some decisions about what do you do with that. And even sometimes overjoy, let's say you lost the weight, which would be great, and then you'd say, okay, it felt really great, and now, okay, oh, none of my clothes fit. So you might be thinking, well, that's going to cost a lot of money to replace all those clothes, right? So it's that excited emotion, but then the choices of, oh, well, now this is going to happen, or this is going to happen, and this will happen from this, or whatever. So sometimes I find also with cravings that if you don't, like, I do something called I have a free day. Usually it's a Saturday,
Hmm.
and I just
That's
find
when I
that,
have the waffles.
yeah, and so I say do it. You
Hmm.
know, do it, have it, because usually what happens is you won't eat as much as you did, or sometimes you'll even go there and think, nah, I don't really even feel like that today. So that's what happens when the body starts adjusting to not having so much sugar. And once you've been without the sugar and the carbs and you go back to it, sometimes it's like, whoa, that is sweet, right? So
Yes, yes, I've experienced that.
yeah, yeah, like if you haven't had sugar for a while, go get an Nanaimo bar or something.
Oh, I can't eat that. That's too,
Like, whoa.
I guess that's off the scale for me.
Okay, well, there we
It's
go.
too
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah. But also the waffles, pancakes, that's kind of comfort food, right?
It is.
That sort
It
of thing. All right,
is.
so let's see. Can we release this trapped emotion of overjoy? Yes. Do I need to know more? Do I need to know more? I don't. Okay, we just go ahead and release that for you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
all right. And other cravings, are there entrapped emotions that will allow me at this time to let go of the cravings of white sugar and the carbs and the flour and the waffles and the bread that goes with it? Yes. Are they in A? No, they're in B. B, even this time. So 2, 4, 6, 4. Okay, 4. So 4, we haven't gone into this one. So we're looking at depression, yeah, depression, frustration, indecisiveness, panic, and taken for granted. So let's just see which one comes up here. So these cravings, what's the trapped emotion that's preventing me from letting them go? Is it, so it's frustration, frustration, trapped
That seems
emotion.
a lot friendlier than some of the others on there.
Yeah, well, some of them are, I find when something is more traumatic, they're stronger emotions.
Yeah.
These are not, yeah, on the scale of things that we're looking at, they're not bad. Also because even though you're wanting to release this weight, Janice, you're not anxious about it every day, right? It's not like something that's on your mind
No,
every single minute. It's kind of
not
like,
at
yeah,
all.
I really would like to do this, but some people are super stressed that I'm working with, or especially people going through grieving or things like that. There's lots of other stuff that will come up from very emotional times for people, right? All right, so frustration. Does this belong to me, Janice? Yes. Can I release it? Yes. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and release that for you. Okay. Alrighty. Um, and just because of the timing here, I'm just going to ask the questions. Normally I would go on longer, but I'm just going to say, is it okay if I stop at this time? Yeah, it's okay if I stop at this time. Usually this whole sheet will be filled up, but I've just released those ones for you. And typically, most people, in terms of how do you process this, most people will feel lighter after a session. Most people will start to notice that their eating habits can change a little bit, or they're more mindful of what they're eating. Like, we didn't get into exercise with you and other things, mindset, what you're telling yourself, although your belief system said it was pretty good, but still there's that self-abuse, that mind frick, I call it, that goes on. Look how tight these clothes are, or I can't get into those, or, oh, I just feel frumpy today or something. It's just like, stop it. Tell it to take a hike, right? Just, you go take a hike. I don't need that. So what I'm going to do right now is, we started out at a 10 for you. So I'm just going to check on this with just what we removed here. So 10. Okay, so interestingly enough, I'm getting a 0, even though that was a short session. But I think part of you is yeah, let's just get on with this, right? Let's just get on with it. Springtime, you're going out for your walks and things, you're getting more exercise, you're doing your yoga. So, by having these sessions, this is what the whole point is, I always say, if you feel like you need to cry, in this case, I would say I'm clairsentient, so I didn't feel any real grief or really, really strong emotions here, other than that first one, the terror unsupported. Otherwise, it's like, no, let's just, these are coming out easily. Let's just let them go. But sometimes,
I
yeah,
feel much lighter, I have to say.
yeah,
It's a different, it feels as if, how colors can seem brighter or
yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. I mean, I can feel my whole aura
Nice,
is lighter
good,
around me, and so this is very interesting. I can feel a shift.
good, yeah. So usually what I do, sessions, I'll do 30 minutes. For most people, I'll start off with 2 30-minute sessions. And then if there's more, like with weight loss, I actually do have a program.
Hmm.
So you can find this on my website. It's under danasmithers.com, emotion-code, and then weight, I think it's weight release or weight loss. And with this program, you would get an intake form. There's some weight release tips that I give you, reasons to exercise. We talk about good foods, good fats. And then there's a weekly progress chart that I use and that we talk about. So it's not so much. So this would be the emotion codes. We go through things. We look at your successes. What have you done? What are you feeling good about? And then we just have a session. Each session would just be releasing trapped emotions. And
Okay.
as I said, I often find that once you become mindful of what you're doing, then the releasing the weight gets a lot easier. I don't like to call it weight loss, because when we lose something, we want to go find it again.
Yeah.
And this way we're just releasing it. But I'm most interested in women feeling good about their body.
Hmm.
We're not going to get back to where we were, sometimes even 5 or 10 years ago, right? It's, do you feel good? Yeah, are you taking a bit of care with yourself? Do you like the clothes you have in your closet? Like, that's a whole other thing, right? If that's, yeah, the whole decluttering thing, right? And now is a good time to do that. Look at things that you do love. What makes you feel good, right? That's pure law of attraction. If it doesn't feel good, you got some clothing, get rid of it. Don't think, oh yeah, and I'm going to release weight, I'm going to release that weight next year. Well, next year might be out of style, and go buy yourself something new, right? So look at what makes you feel good. Like, your jewelry is very pretty, that's a pretty color on you. Whatever makes you feel good. Every day, that's what you want to be doing, because that's going to help you take a look at what are the foods that you're putting in your body.
Hmm. because I'm worthy of the best, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all are.
Yeah. And
Um,
it a lot of self-worth, definitely those issues come up with people all the time, but it's also this just a story that either you're telling yourself or you were told as a child or maybe in your first marriage or something, right? Or who knows, right?
mhm.
It's what goes into the subconscious and you don't know it's there. But
No.
the subconscious is 90% of the thoughts that you're telling back to yourself when you're not mindful. We only have about 5 to 10% of a conscious mind is what we use.
Mhm.
The rest is down there,
I
right?
think we spend most of our lives trying to navigate around the big whale in there, you
Yeah,
know, that
exactly. And
unknown.
everybody does it, being human, we've got, it's a whole other story about soul contracts and things, but whatever, we're here on the planet, we're here to enjoy life, we're here to contribute. Yeah, we're here to have happy experiences and share love and, whatever our sacred gift is, share that out in the world as well, right? So actually, the last thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to now, so that I don't carry around your information today, I'm just going to go back to getting myself connected. So we just undo that proxy. So Janice, am I Dana? I'm Dana. Okay, I'm back. And so I just check off there that I've gone back to being Dana.
I think that's funny you had to check it off. I think it's probably because you do so
Well,
much
yeah,
of this that, you know, you might like go have coffee and go, wow, I'm still feeling kind of, oh, I forgot to.
yeah. And I do that sometimes, right? I'll just sit there and go, yeah, like that, right? And then I go back and check it off in my form. That's why I have it highlighted in yellow so I don't forget. Yeah. So thanks so much for doing this with me, Janice. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, so I will check in just to see how things are going. And yeah, so I really, really appreciate it. I just think it's something that if enough people knew what it was, that they would find that this is it's non-invasive healing technique that if you're, into this kind of stuff, and I don't consider it terribly woo-woo as some people might. I mean, we're all energy. I'm all about the law of attraction and intention, right? So if that intention is set, and also with the person that I'm working with, right? I mean, I sincerely doubt that I would ever work with anybody that wasn't really interested in making changes, um, unless they were in a totally different situation. Yeah, like a serious addiction or something. That's very, very complicated. So that's not something I work with. Is people with addictions, people with weight loss, relationship issues, finances. As I say, I love working with animals as well, but people that have maybe just overall anxiety, stress, people going through the grieving process, or people having transformations. They might be widowed, they might be getting divorced, they could be getting married and starting to feel some panic around that. So I really love to do it because it's just such a gentle way to let the universe know that, yeah, you're interested in making some changes and you really want to do that. So
And getting your subconscious in on it because there's a lovely, I love Louise Hay. I call her grandma, had for years. And she said that people get mad at themselves for being overweight, and weight is only the reaction to what your thinking is, the stuff in your subconscious.
yeah.
So this is what you've taken me through is a way of accessing that, which it was very powerful, and I had no idea about the stuff that came up. I was like, really? Wow, that's I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, we can't know what's in that subconscious, right?
No,
Out there.
no.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Janice. I really, really
Thank you.
appreciate it. Bye for now.
Bye bye.